Thank you so much for your time. Okay, so let's talk a bit about, first of all, we've got to focus on the bond issue today. And I was wondering if, what can you tell us about that? I wonder if the results have been announced yet. And if not, what's your feel in terms of the sentiment around the issues?
Well, thank you very much for having me. Like you rightly said, there is a bond auction today. And before the auction, for Monday and Tuesday, and even today in secondary markets, we've seen a lot of demand on the 2026 bond owing to the short duration. So we've seen a lot of market participants, trade bullish on those bonds, and that's also the case in today's bond auction. The result hasn't been announced yet, so we expect it to be announced later in the day. But on the 2026 and 2042 bond, which is the other bond on auction, and both of them are offered at 75 billion each, we expect high demand, and we've seen high demand on both of those auctions, on both of those bonds.
All right, and I mentioned earlier this CBN's efforts by issuing special bills. This is something we know they've done before to mop up liquidity. I would like you to speak to that and what do you think the game plan is here?
Well, in the market right now, unfortunately, the amount of bills available is not as much as it used to be compared to a couple of years ago. So special bills are the most widely available bills in the market, and that's why they are readily traded between parties. And it's also used as a way to manage liquidity since it's very available in the market. So when traders or market participants have liquidity needs, they'll quickly sell down to create liquidity, and when they have excess liquidity, they'll also buy too. So it's basically as a way to manage liquidity in the market.
What's your view on this supplementary budget and its implications for the debt markets? I have a feeling that we're now going to see another raft of bond issues from the government to, of course, finance this deficit that is obvious given the need to pay for these subsidies. What would be, in your view, the impact of this on, first of all, yields and just the markets in general?
Well, in the last quarter of year 2021, we posited that the government will definitely borrow more, and it will lead to a spike in the market. Unfortunately, we haven't seen as much borrowing from the federal government as we would have expected. But with this 2.55 trillion of supplementary budget, we expect there be increased issuance, whether in the T-bills auction and the bond auction, and that will likely lead to higher yields in the market. So the supplementary budget is not a proposal, but when it's passed, we expect there to be increased issuance of the federal government auctions, and leading to also increased yields in the markets. All
right, let's talk about the forex markets before we round up. The naira gained in the official markets to about 4.16 to the dollar. Is that a good sign? What are your thoughts about the stability of the naira in the official market moving forward?
It's been really stable around that 416, so it's been hovering around 416.6, 416.67, and 416. So it's been really stable in the market, and we've seen the CBN continue in their interventions in that space.